At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Welcome in to Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM channel 375, all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from Chicago until 3 Eastern right here on Westwood One Sports. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. We had a big trade this morning in the NBA. How about this? Charlotte trading LaMello Ball to Minnesota. So now Anthony Edwards and LaMello Ball will pair up in the backcourt for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves send Naz Reid 3 first-round pick swaps, a 2033 first-round pick, and some other pick stuff in the future to Charlotte. So Charlotte gets back Naz Reid and picks, a first-rounder in 2033, and then also 3 first-round pick swaps from the Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves now find someone to pair with Anthony Edwards. I think, like, as we see this trade go down earlier today, I think there are 3 things that stick out to me, and I think this says the most about Charlotte. I don't think that this is, to me, this is a great deal for the Charlotte Hornets. I think that this shows that this team is serious about trying to win, and that they saw with LaMello Ball that there was a ceiling to what they were able to accomplish with him as their lead star player for the team. Con Knippel has come into his own. It's going to be his team moving forward. They also made news earlier within the last 30 minutes or so that Kobe White has signed a new deal with the Charlotte Hornets, so he'll be your starting point guard. I think it's like a 3-year, $75 million deal, $74 million deal for Kobe White. I think this says the most about the Hornets. It's a great move. Naz Reid with that young core, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that is the takeaway from me. And now we look at Minnesota, and you add LaMello Ball with Anthony Edwards. Tell me how this is going to make the Timberwolves a better team this upcoming season.
Well, what this says to me is one man's trash is another man's treasure. Because this clearly says that the Hornets did not see LaMello Ball as part of their future. Like a clear all-star. They won 32 of their last 45 games.
Yep.
He played really well at the end of the season. Yeah, they lost in the play-in tournament, but being a team that surprised everybody, that had no playoff aspirations at the middle of the season. I mean, we're talking in January, they were completely out of it, and then they win a bunch of games to make the play-in tournament. They beat the Heat in overtime. They end up losing to Orlando, but just getting there is saying something. And he was willing to, he was facing some injury, he was willing to manage his minutes and all that kind of stuff, and he played really well. But they were not willing to be in a place to deal with all of the other stuff surrounding LaMello Ball. As good of a player as he can be, they're not willing to deal with everything else surrounding LaMello Ball, and we're willing to move on from him. And the Minnesota Timberwolves were willing to give up Naz Reid, an unprotected first-round pick that's like 7 years in the future, a bunch of pick swaps and second-round picks that are sooner rather than later. But also, that's a lot of picks. And Naz Reid's a decent player.
Decent player. He's a good player. He's a good defensive player.
Exactly. And now reports are from The Athletic that this is something that the Timberwolves have been trying to do for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
They've been after LaMello Ball trying to get him to play with Anthony Edwards for 2 years. So they've coveted him for a long time. So, like I said, one man's trash, the Hornets, and not necessarily trash, but you know what I mean.
No, I think
is another man's treasure.
I wish I thought of that myself. It's very good. I like that. I think that's the key here. I think you're totally right. Because LaMello Ball as a player, I think you can see there's going to be very wide-ranging opinions on LaMello Ball, the player. He's a very good player. I don't know if he's a winning player. I don't know if he's necessarily the reason the Hornets had success last year. Mm-hmm. He was there. He was a part of it. But in the playoffs, he does a lot of freelancing. And he's not necessarily a great defensive player. And he's out there trying to get steals, but he's not playing the man in defense in situations. Mm-hmm. Last season for the Hornets, in 28 minutes a night, he averaged 20 points, 7 assists, 4.8 rebounds. Those are his lowest totals in all 3 categories that he's had in his last 4 seasons. So in 2023, 24, 25, he was a 25-point per game scorer. He had 8 assists per game. He had 6 rebounds. So his numbers last season were his lows back to what he was in his second season. So what are the Timberwolves getting? Like, I don't see this trade, and I understand that Minnesota had a lust for for LaMello Ball, and that they bring him into the mix, and they've been chasing him for 2 years. You finally get him, but how does removing Naz Reid from your group, your core group of players, and I know sometimes he didn't start, but like your best players on your team who could stretch the floor and shoot the three and then also play defense, how does removing Naz Reid and replacing him with LaMello Ball make the Timberwolves better? I get it that it's going to be flashy. There's going to be highlights. I know TikTokers, young people around the country who love basketball TikTok are going to be all about the fact that LaMelo's teaming up with Ant. Like, that's pretty cool. That's sweet. You're going to win games. I don't know. I'm kind of stunned that Minnesota would make this move. And that's why I said this says more about Charlotte. Charlotte knows the direction that they're going in. And getting back future picks when you have a young player under contract already just signifies to me that they are totally comfortable being without LaMello Ball. And they will figure it out without him. And chances are adding Naz Reid to the group and removing LaMello Ball actually makes the Hornets a better team. And we were having the discussion earlier this week about once Giannis was traded to Miami, where do the Heat stack up in the Eastern Conference? Boy, I'll tell you right now, I'll put my money on Charlotte over Miami. I think that's a better group of players. I think they'll have a better record next season. I think you could say Charlotte could be a top 6 team in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, development needs to take place. Miller and Knippel need to continue to get better. But I really like the move for the Hornets. And to add into all of this conversation, the move now puts Charlotte, I believe it was like $75 million under the tax threshold.
Yeah.
So like that, it also benefits them financially to move on from LaMello Ball.
I mean, you should take your money to DraftKings and use promo code BNA26 if you're going to do that, because right now, like we've talked about, the Heat are 6-1 to win the East, and the Hornets are 30-1. Like, I'm not saying the Hornets are going to win the East, but that's the perspective on what Vegas thinks of the Hornets versus the Miami Heat, and what this does also for the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are now the third favorite in the Western Conference right now. They are right behind the Thunder and the Spurs. Now,
I don't get that.
The drop-off is insane. Like, again, when we talked about the Heat...
Do you get that? I don't get that.
I had to give perspective.
Yes.
Now, the Thunder are plus 145. The Spurs are plus 155. Not a lot of discrepancy there. And then the Timberwolves are 11-1. So, like, that's a huge drop-off. Like, that is an insane amount of drop-off from a gambling perspective when you're talking about who's going to win the West. And that's what people think, and that's what Vegas thinks of who is going to win the West. It's basically a 2-horse race, and then you've got a mile in between the Thunder and the Spurs to compete for third place between the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, the Lakers, and then another half a mile between them and the Warriors, the Rockets, and then the Clippers.
Well, let's do it this way. LeBron re-signs with LA.
Okay.
If that takes place, the Lakers are a better team than the Timberwolves.
I think that's baked into this.
Again, I'm shocked. I'm stunned. What am I missing here? People, you can join us at 310-840-4910. Text or call the show. What am I missing? I don't understand how this makes Minnesota a better team.
I don't know if it necessarily makes them a better team, but you're looking at a team now where Anthony Edwards has had to do a lot of things offensively, where he's handling the ball a lot, and now he doesn't have to do that. He's got a point guard. He hasn't had a point guard. Now he's got a true point guard. Now, is that point guard going to freelance and shoot from 40 feet out half the time?
Yeah.
Is that point guard not going to play defense ever? Yes. All of those things are true. But he does have a true point guard. Now, LaMelo's got to realize that this is not his team and it's Anthony Edwards' team, and I'm sure that that's going to be communicated to him. But I do think that there's still a decent defensive team. What the problem is here is that this is the Minnesota Timberwolves. We talked about it. The reason that they are one of my favorite teams in the NBA, besides the Chicago Bulls, as we broadcast out of the city of Chicago, is that they embody the attitude of Anthony Edwards. They're tough. They're gritty. They care about basketball. They're not showboaty. They're not any of that stuff. They are the complete opposite of LaMello Ball. What happens to LaMello Ball when you add him to this mix?
Yeah, and I think that's what's the thing that's sticking out to me. I mean, the starting group now for the Minnesota Timberwolves would be point guard LaMello Ball, Anthony Edwards at shooting guard, Ayo Dosunmu at small forward, who they just re-signed, Jaden McDaniels at power forward, Rudy Gobert at center. That to me doesn't scream a team as a starting group that's better than Houston or Los Angeles with the Lakers. And obviously, I don't think that gets over Oklahoma City or San Antonio. And I felt like going into this offseason, Minnesota was in a spot where they needed to do something to get back to the level that OKC and San Antonio are at. Mm-hmm. I don't think that this does that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why, all the different layers of it. And, we could also say, like, what does this say about LaMello, right? You're in your prime, and the team that drafted you, who has signed you to a long-term deal, is willing to give you up. And you mentioned that, like, it's clearly Charlotte didn't want to have to deal with the other stuff that comes along with LaMello Ball. And that, it's not like there's been anything too bad, but I'm guessing that the headache of dealing with a player like that is something that the Hornets were willing to move off of.
Well, it's everything that you mentioned. It's the progression of their roster, and they're seeing that he is not a part of that. He is not a part of the of Knipple and Kobe White and what else they've added to that roster, and adding Naz Reid to a part of that roster and bringing him in and what they want to be moving forward. And it's not, I don't know if it's so much of dealing with the quote headache, but it's look at what he was fined for during, last season for swiping at people's legs and that kind of stuff. It's like the small stuff like that. Like he's not a huge off the field problem. Like we're not talking about John Morant or James Harden and that kind of stuff.
I did see someone say the roads in Charlotte will be safer moving forward with him off the roads.
There is a little bit of that.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of that.
Well, I mean, let's call it what it is. With LaMello Ball, there's a maturity level that is in question.
Exactly.
And now you pair him with Anthony Edwards, which Anthony Edwards is a dog. He wants it, but I wouldn't paint him as the most mature NBA players that are going.
That's very true.
Right?
But I do think that putting him into a more mature environment that are the Minnesota Timberwolves. We talk about how this is the team that everyone should be rooting for. They're the basketball in quotes team. Well, this is what you want people to root for.
They've been a fun team to watch.
And if any of that can rub off on him, then they could be good. I mean, basketball wise, defense aside, with LaMello Ball, like it's a really good backcourt. It's one of the best backcourts in the West.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a good backcourt. I'm with you. If you want shots from 40 feet out, yeah, it's a hell of a backcourt. Just make sure Ant gets to the basket every once in a while. I'm down with that. I'm cool with that. Shams Charania was on ESPN television. He talked about the fact that Charlotte didn't plan on trading LaMello Ball.
Anytime you have Anthony Edwards, you have a pressure to win. You have to pay to win. And this in LaMello Ball is a big swing for the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves felt the last couple of years point guard was a major need for this team. And they actually did look into LaMello Ball a couple times over the last season, but they finally get him now. This is a high price. LaMello Ball is at the peak of his value at this point. And last night, near the end of the second round, I started hearing that they were going to be moving potentially LaMello Ball, because not that they were shopping him, but they were getting several teams inquiring, reaching out, making offers. Minnesota, Toronto, there were others as well. So Charlotte didn't start this offseason saying we're going to trade LaMello Ball, but the offers just got so rich, as we see here. And there was always a sense, if it got to that point, the Hornets would not be afraid to move on.
So that's Shams Charania on ESPN television. Brian Windhorst also went on to talk about how the LaMello Ball trade will help Anthony Edwards.
Minnesota, this is a move to get Ant Edwards the kind of backcourt running mate that he needs. Ant Edwards was a guy that people, after Giannis getting traded, were like, is this the next star player to be traded? He has watched Karl Anthony Towns go to New York in a trade that ended up not working out and win a championship. Where is his mind, his head at? He's tired of being double teamed. They get him a dynamic scorer in the backcourt. You throw a double team in Ant Edwards with LaMello Ball on the court, you are playing with fire. LaMello will drop 10 3-pointers on you in the blink of an eye. And so this is what their move is. To accomplish this, they are basically emptying their coffers. They are giving up, because this is going to end up sort of combining with the Julius Randle deal. They're trading 2 of their 3 best big men. Okay, in a Western Conference where everybody's getting bigger, they're trading big for small here, including Randle and Naz Reid, who's an incredibly highly respected and valued player, to Charlotte.
So that's Brian Windhorst on ESPN television. And yeah, that's the aspect of the conversation that you and I have not addressed yet, is the fact that Minnesota is also trading Julius Randle to Brooklyn, but because of the way the structure of the money and the salary cap works, essentially the Timberwolves have to fold that trade into the trade for LaMello as well. So it will turn into a 4-team deal at some point when we are all said and done with the specifics of what's going back and forth. But like Windhorst makes a great point. Mm-hmm. You're looking at a team that was tough. And we talked about the Timberwolves heading into the playoffs. We both thought that they had a good chance of beating San Antonio or Oklahoma City because they were tough. 2 of their toughest players, Naz Reid and Julius Randle, are gone. And you get back LaMello Ball.
Well, listen, and Windhorst makes a good point.
I don't get it.
In a conference that's just getting bigger, they're getting smaller. Just shoot over them. That's what they're going to try to do.
I guess so. I don't get it, and I'm cool with one day saying, "Hey, I was wrong on this." Like I'm down with that. Like I'm not afraid to say today that I don't get what the Timberwolves are doing.
I think this goes back to I'm glad that a team is willing to do something.
Yeah.
Rather than just say, well, let's just try again because look, what you did wasn't good enough.
I feel like, you know what this feels like? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, because look, and I know I'm just looking at odds here, but we talked about it before the playoffs started and during that series. Going into the Spurs and the Thunder series, we keep saying this seems like a precursor for the next 5 to 7 years, that we're just going to be talking about the Spurs and the Thunder in Western Conference Finals, and maybe someone else will jump in there every once in a while, but this seems like it's going to be a rivalry in the Western Conference Finals for the next 5 to 7 years. And other teams have to do something to try to compete. And the Wolves see something, and they don't want to have an Anthony Edwards who's pissed off and says, you guys aren't doing anything to combat this. This is something. The report is from The Athletic. They've been trying to do this for 2 years now. They did it. They got LaMello Ball, and at least it's something to try to, whether Anthony Edwards wanted this or they wanted it, it's something.
You know what it feels like to me is, remember a few years back, the Phoenix Suns, they were in the finals? Mm-hmm. And they had like a stacked young team of like, and they had like a specific style, and then they were like, oh, well, we need to go get stars, and then they go after Durant, and then like everything, and then they get bounced back to like midpoint of the conference because now they're just small. Yeah, and they can't compete with the other teams.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what this move is for Minnesota.
They still have Gobert.
They still have Gobert. Yes, correct. I agree with you.
He's one of the best defensive players in the league.
Text 310-840-4910 from the 442. That's the Southern California area. The text says, Ant-Man with Melo will be the best backcourt duo in the league. So, yeah, absolutely. I think they will be one of the best backcourt duos in the league, no doubt. Did you also see a part of the story out of Minnesota is that the Timberwolves were trying to or having discussions with the Celtics for Jaylen Brown, and it fell through? We will tell you where Jaylen Brown should be traded to coming up next. It's Bleck Abdalla. International soccer is taking over the U.S., and only DraftKings has you fully covered.
The DraftKings Sportsbook app is now available in all 50 states. Sweat all your matches you love all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code BNA26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days.
That's code BNA26 for Bleck and Abdalla in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involve risk of loss. Sportsbook's bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks, expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
The U.S. men's national team is cruising. They've clinched first place in Group D. Can they finish group play 3-0? U.S. versus Turkey. Thursday night, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
This morning, the Charlotte Hornets trade LaMello Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Naz Reid and picks going back to Charlotte. It's a big deal that took place earlier today. There's a player that's out there, an all-star level player, a star player who's still with his team, who's still expected to be on the move, and that's Jaylen Brown. A part of this story with the Timberwolves trading for LaMello Ball is that The Athletic is reporting that the Timberwolves were in talks with the Celtics, and they decided to go and chase after LaMello Ball because they figured they could give up less to land LaMello Ball than to land Jaylen Brown. Now, I'd say this. Before we really dive into the Jaylen Brown and where he's going to land and the Celtic side of things, my opinion from 10 minutes ago where I asked you, I don't get this trade for Minnesota with LaMello going there, I would have a totally different opinion if this was Jaylen Brown joining Ant in Minneapolis.
Are you kidding me?
If Brown was joining Ant, I would be on your side saying that they're by far the third best team in the West. This team's a title contender.
Whoa, hold on.
You were saying the odds.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm not saying they are. That's Vegas.
You were giving us the Vegas odds.
Yes.
I would align with that if it was Jaylen Brown going back.
Yeah.
So the Timberwolves decided to go for LaMello Ball because they didn't have to give up as much.
Mm-hmm.
And that still leaves Jaylen Brown out there looking for a spot to be traded to, as the Boston Celtics are now in a situation with Brown where he knows that they are actively shopping him.
Argue with your grandma.
Well, thank you, Jalen. We're not going to argue with her grandma.
Argue with your grandma.
No, it's not going to happen. But the Boston Celtics want to move on from Jaylen Brown. So, Abdalla, when we look at this situation, let's take a listen. Shams Charania on ESPN television updating us the latest on the Celtics and the Jaylen Brown trade talks.
Boston Celtics are actively engaged in trade talks surrounding Jaylen Brown with multiple interested teams. And I'm told there is a sense of purpose from teams around the league that they feel from the Celtics in these conversations. And that does not mean, though, that a deal is guaranteed, because Jaylen Brown does have 3 years left on his contract. He's got a supermax deal that he's on. But my understanding, the urgency from either side could change as the weeks go on.
All right, so that's Shams. Brian Windhorst also adding in on how he thinks Brown will be traded and where he may go.
Celtics got into the bidding for Giannis Antetokounmpo, but did not get into a bidding war, which means they knew there was a possibility that they would not be able to execute that trade, which means that they knew that there would potentially be other trades that they would make. And my speculation is they do have another list with other teams that they'll be talking to. And I would believe that there's a very good chance Jaylen Brown is going to be elsewhere to start next season.
Okay, so Windy, not a specific location, but there's a list of other teams, and he thinks Brown will be elsewhere. Where will Jaylen Brown be traded to?
I don't know, but there's a sense of purpose.
Ooh.
A sense of purpose.
It's always good to wake up in the morning and have a sense of purpose.
I hate this.
What do you mean you hate this?
Like, Even before, like when Shams was on last night and he was saying that there's like a driving force for the Hornets to trade LaMello, and it's like, come on, dude, like news is gonna happen. We just don't know when it's gonna happen. It's like there's a sense of purpose for the Celtics now. Yeah, because you pissed off one of your best players.
Yeah.
You think there's a sense of purpose now? Yeah, you think? Okay. The Pistons. But they probably won't go there because you can't trade them there because they're not a rival, but they just finished ahead of you in the standings, so you're not going to trade them there. It's got to be a team in the West.
Is it Denver?
I would guess that makes the most sense. You're not going to trade them to a team in the East that's going to end up beating you.
Because
you can't have that.
When you said Detroit, I thought Detroit. I also thought Denver.
Because Detroit just cleared a ton of cap space.
Yeah.
But they're not going to trade him to Detroit.
I think you can cross off Houston. I think you can do the same for the Thunder and the Spurs because they don't necessarily need to disrupt their teams to go after Jaylen Brown. Golden State, I don't think they're involved.
No.
I think the Clippers are kind of taking a different approach now after constantly chasing the stars and having that blow up on them with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I don't think Phoenix is in play. Dallas, that seems to be like a young group of players, so you don't really want to mess with that. And the rest of the Eastern Conference, it's kind of difficult to see. You know, Toronto was in on LaMello, so could Toronto be in on Jaylen Brown? That could be interesting. Outside of that, I don't see Boston helping Philly out.
No.
So
No.
I think a trade between Philly and Boston, like Philadelphia, makes a lot of sense because they're stuck with what they have, and so I don't know honestly where he's going to land.
I think Denver makes the most sense. I think the Nuggets make the most sense because it's not in the conference. It's not a team that you're going to have to face in the playoffs unless you get to the NBA Finals. It's not a team that is going to directly affect you that way. So that makes the most sense. I would imagine that that's the route that they take. You know, if they were in conversation, you know, in that direction, like I know that the Hornets might have been a team that they're in the East, but again, like it's not the Pistons who are directly a spot ahead of them in the standings. It's not Philly who they could have faced. You know what I mean? I think it's a team that's going to be in the West. Denver makes the most sense.
Yeah, the problem there is the Nuggets don't own their first-round pick in 2027. It goes to Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So that's one.
Well, but we just had a trade for a 2033 first-round pick.
So they have their first-round pick in 2028. And it looks like they have their first-round pick in 2030. Their first round pick is going to Oklahoma City in 2027 and in 2029. So I don't know. I think that would be pretty difficult to pull off. But and Raj is saying the first round trade, the first round pick that they can trade is not until 2031. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. So
all right.
So I mean if you're the Nuggets, yeah, that could be a win now move that could get you over, and it could also, like, you don't really need those first round picks till that point. So you could, but do you really want to mortgage your future from 31, 32, 33? Because like, how many first round picks would you have to trade to get Jaylen Brown? Right?
It depends.
Because Giannis went for Tyler Hero, other items, and 3 first round picks.
3 firsts, yeah.
So I'm guessing that's going to be the price point for Jaylen Brown.
And these first-round picks are just starting to get 10 years into the future.
By the way, did you enjoy last night, the second round of the NBA draft?
Wouldn't know.
Did you enjoy watching?
Wouldn't know.
Did you see that after all the joking that we did about the second round, that there was one selection in the second round that was the team that was supposed to take that pick?
Yep.
Toronto at 50.
Yep.
They're the only team. Every other pick in the second round was traded.
Which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. There's no point in that. And I wanted to bring up something that I completely forgot about yesterday. There was a point in the first round where New York traded their pick.
Yep.
And the Lakers made the pick. I believe the Lakers made the pick for them. or they made the pick for the Lakers. And when the pick was announced, they showed a bunch of Knick fans cheering. Like, this whole thing is a joke. Why? And again, yesterday just proved, why are you televising the second round on a separate night when no one is making their own picks?
You know how this stuff works in the media.
This could have been an email.
I know at some point there will be a post online or something sent out by the league saying, hey, the NBA, night 2 of the NBA draft was the ratings were outstanding.
No.
So wow, it proves that we were right.
No.
That dividing the NBA draft into 2 nights was worthy because look at these big, large ratings. Oh, look at these hot ratings that we have for it. I did not watch.
I didn't watch.
I am a diehard NBA fan. I love basketball. I did not watch.
I was watching soccer.
I was watching the World Cup.
Yes.
That's what I was consuming. I did tune in for a hot second just to see that Jay Billis was doing work. And he was there. He was crushing it.
Of course he is.
He's talking about prospects, players, the whole thing.
You want to know when I tuned out?
It.
Here's when I tuned out, and it's selfish. And I'll tell you this: we broadcast out of the great city of Chicago, and mind me for getting on a soapbox for a second. When I found out that the Bulls once again sold their second-round picks for cash, I swear to God, this.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost swore. This organization can't get out of its own GD way. It's ridiculous that all they do is sell this. And you know what? That cash doesn't go back into the pockets for the organization to spend in a salary cap. That goes right into the owner's pockets. That's just Jerry Reinsdorf and Michael Reinsdorf just pocketing that money for themselves that they just get to spend on whatever they want to. That doesn't get to go back into the salary cap that they get to spend on players or player development or anything like that. That just gets to go right back into their pocket. It's ridiculous. Nothing changes with these Bulls. Nothing ever changes. It's ridiculous. Sorry.
Yes. Thank you for yelling at all of us. From the 251 text at 310-840-4910. 251, that's down in Alabama. This is what the text reads. Is there anything the Chicago Bulls love more than cash considerations? Shout out to the Reinsdorfs and cash considerations. Yeah, Abdalla, I think the important part there for a national audience to understand, when you sell your second-round pick, it does not affect the salary cap. The money you get back is not relief on the salary cap. So that money goes directly into the owner's pocket. And the reason here in Chicago it's a thing is that the Bulls consistently sell second-round picks.
Every year.
Because the owner just wants to pocket the cash and it's not spending it on players. It's not moving it to the salary cap. It's not, hey, we're next week during free agency, we're going to go get this guy. Nope, that's not the case. Locally here in Chicago, there's a baseball team that's actually playing some decent baseball right now that Reinsdorf owns. He might need a little extra cash for that side of town. I don't know. But that's the MO, is that they sold another second-round pick this year for cash considerations. And yes,
you saying that cash is going to go to Murakami?
I'm just saying, Mooney might need a new deal. Might need
if you're telling me that that's the case, then fine. I'm fine with that.
So
but if it's not, then no.
I'm sure it happens in other fan bases, but when you consistently see the same exact thing from the same ownership group, it's very obvious that what did the Bulls do this year? Oh, let's see. Let's run the numbers. They missed the playoffs, and usually, even when you get into the play-in, you get to host a game. I think the quick math on that is when you host a playoff game, a playoff date, it's about a gate revenue of $4 million, right? So the Bulls were out a little cash this year because they didn't make the play-in round. So you sell a second-round pick, and boom, now you got cash. It's really amazing. So that's why Abdalla had to go on the soapbox.
Hate it.
And to give you the opinion from here in Chicago. Bleck Abdalla, sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. As we talk a little NBA here on the show, we also are looking ahead at NFL training camps. And we have a segment here on the show called 32 Questions in 32 Days. We go to the Tennessee Titans coming up next.
The NFL has decided Brendan Sorsby will not be entering the league this season. The quarterback will now have to focus on next year's draft in a potentially loaded class, including Arch Manning and Dante Moore. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Around the NFL, July 22nd is the day that the first two teams will report to camp. The Cardinals and the Panthers will report July 22nd. 24th, you have the Patriots and the Seahawks. The 25th, the Rams and the 49ers. And on July 28th, everyone else in the NFL will report to training camp. And we are counting down the days until the start of NFL training camps around the National Football League. And that's where we go to 32 questions in 32 days.
32 questions in 32 days. Bleck and Abdalla discuss every NFL team's biggest question heading into training camp. Today's team, the Tennessee Titans.
Ward looking, looping out of trouble. Trying to set up receivers. He's going to throw against his body to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Spectacular! Cam Ward, welcome to Nashville.
Today's question. Can Cam Ward make a big jump under Brian Daboll?
So we go 32 questions in 32 days. Shout out to CBS and Big Eagle for the call there. Well, it's not Little Eagle.
Not Little Eagle.
Call no, a little
not
Eagle.
Baby Eagle.
It's big dog Eagle.
Yeah.
Iron Eagle with the call there on CBS. Can Cam Ward make a big jump in year two under Brian Daboll? Daboll has been one of the best offensive coordinators around the league, and as his run as Giants head coach, it didn't quite go that way. He now has a quarterback who has all of the talent in the world. I think Cam Ward does make a big jump here in year two for the Tennessee Titans.
I think so too. I think when you look at what they have, to offer here and what he's brought to the table before as an offensive coordinator. I mean, look what he did for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's third year in the league in 2020. He put up 4,500 yards. He was second in MVP voting. He had 37 touchdowns. Now, it took a couple years to get to that point with him and Daboll. Daboll was there for 2018 and 2019, and it took 3 years to get there. But he kind of had to mold Josh Allen into that. I think that Cam Ward, already having a year underneath his belt, can get to that point a little bit quicker. I think that with a defense kind of already set right there, with some tweaks to the defense that Robert Saleh is going to bring in, is going to help him a little bit. You've got some weapons that are already set for him. So I kind of like what they've done helping Cam Ward this season. So I think he can. I think they definitely can.
Yeah, and I mean, last year it didn't go their way. Tennessee last season, 3-14. They fire their coaching staff. Robert Saleh comes in. He brings Brian Daboll with him. So that's going to be a good pairing. And I think that's the key that we've seen around the NFL here in this offseason. If you're a defensive-minded head coach, getting that next job. Saleh had the credentials, but now he pairs up with another guy. And Brian Daboll, who as an offensive coordinator has been fantastic. Like I said, it didn't work in New York for the Giants, but now he just focuses on the offense. Saleh, I think, is a head coach that got a raw deal in New York as well with the Jets. I believe in Robert Saleh. So I think Saleh and Daboll is going to be a really nice pairing for Tennessee moving forward. Now the question is, can the offense live up to it? Can they be successful as far as the output and those around Cam Ward? Can they kind of like take it to a new level this season?
One of my favorite picks from the NFL draft was Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. And when we were there in Pittsburgh, for the NFL draft, he was one of my favorite guys that was selected. I think that he and Cam Ward are really going to have a good connection together. They're going to be able to grow together, learn together, build a connection together. It's always good when you have, I know that Cam Ward, this isn't his rookie year, but when you have a young wide receiver and a young quarterback that can grow together, that's always good to have. And I think that with Daboll, now that he doesn't have to focus on everything, there's some guys that are just better coordinators than they are head coaches. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is never going to be a head coach again. Like, he's just not. He's not going to be a good head coach. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can be one of the best, if not the best, offensive coordinators in the NFL. And Brian Daboll has a chance to show that that's exactly what he can be.
Being a head coach is a different skill set.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's a good example. Josh McDaniels is a good example. I think Vic Fangio on the defensive side is equally as good of an example.
Yep.
because Fangio is not a head coach, but he's a great defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
And like, not to turn every conversation in the NFL to the Browns, but I think that's why you and I both don't really believe in Todd Monken, because I think he's just like a lifetime offensive coordinator guy.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
His sweet haircut, right? Like, it's a little off kilter, a little strange, right? Like, sometimes those guys don't really work as head coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's 32 questions in 32 days as we count down the days until the start of NFL training camps around the league. Can't wait to get to training camps. So today, Tennessee Titans, can they improve Cam Ward in year 2? Last night on the show, we all partaked in a effort to accomplish something individually. We all went to Taco Bell for dinner last night. Myself, Raj, Roy, Abdalla, we all went to Taco Bell. We enjoyed ourselves. Why, you ask? Because we're just some bros having fun. That's it. There was no reason. We were just talking Taco Bell yesterday, and we decided to live Moss. That's what we did. If you go to our YouTube channel, Bleck Abdalla Show, Raj has created something for us. Raj, what do you have there?
This is a look at us living Moss yesterday.
Raj is clearly living way more Moss than all of us. You went to you're eating at the location. You are, who is that? Is that a Funko Pop?
That is a Nikola Jokic Funko Pop that I am sipping. I am serving some Baja Blast to.
Okay, I am also drinking Baja Blast, although the picture does not show my pinky is out, because when you're living Moss, your pinky needs to be out.
Yes, of
and
course.
You are getting down, Chris, you are getting down on a crunchy taco.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out with
if you'll
Bleck,
pardon
is that
the
a look of
expression.
enjoyment or a look of not enjoyment as you bite?
For me?
Yes.
For my bite? No,
Yes.
I was just going face first into the taco.
You just went all in.
I was just
Easy there, buddy.
I sent you guys a photo of the T-Bell, and Raj responded, "I need a picture." And I was
Yes.
like, dude, I'm already ripping through this.
Yeah.
So the picture I sent to you was mid-bite because I was going to town. Do you guys want my order? We got last night a steak quesadilla, a cheesy gordita crunch, beef crunchy taco, 4 of them, nacho cheese and chips as a side, 1 beef supreme soft taco, a cinnamon churro, and a second nacho cheese, whatever a DLT is. I don't know what that mark
buddy.
is.
That's for you and your wife, though, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
She had some.
Mine
Yes.
was a chicken fajita or chicken quesadilla and crunchy taco meal that came with the Baja Blast, and then I had a free crunchy taco that was owed to me, like it was like a rewards thing, so I cashed that in.
Okay.
And then I also got a Cantina chicken taco as well.
And Raj is decked out, man.
Yeah, I went Mexican pizza, nacho fries, and the Baja Blast. I must confess, Chris, when I texted you I need a pic, I had already planned this scheme. And so I was like, well, I'm not gonna be the only one who takes a picture. So I
figured when you said that, I thought to myself, Raj has a plan for something. And I thought I was like, well, this is all he's getting because I've already eaten half of this, and I'm just going to, I'm attacking the T-Bell. So there you go. Just full disclosure, this is not a promotional ad to Taco Bell.
No, absolutely not. We just love Taco Bell.
I did enjoy my meal last night.
We like living Moss.
Yes.
Well, I treated this as honoring my favorite player ever, who was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, which is why I'm sipping him.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago. On the air until 3 Eastern. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. Got our eyes on the NBA and all of the offseason moves. LaMello Ball traded from the Charlotte Hornets to the Minnesota Timberwolves earlier today. Naz Reid and picks going back to Charlotte. There's also news from Mark Stein and Jake Fisher online at the moment. Kawhi Leonard. Apparently, Toronto has been trying to get the Clippers to engage in a trade to bring Kawhi Leonard back to Toronto, and Kawhi Leonard would prefer to stay with the Clippers. So, keep your eyes on that situation, whether or not Kawhi Leonard will be on the move here in the next couple of days as well. But at the moment, it is being reported that Toronto is actively trying to get Kawhi Leonard back to Canada, and that Kawhi would rather stay in Los Angeles and play for the Clippers.
Yeah, I can imagine that he wants to stay and not have to go, but he is familiar with Toronto, having been there and won there before, just for that year and going there and trying to do that again. But, you know, if they could work something out with the Clippers, that's a more ideal situation for him as well, even though there is a side investigation that Adam Silver has talked about into the financials of how Kawhi was brought into the Clippers. Does Canada have extradition laws? Do they?
Oh, are you talking about what's his uncle's name? Who's listed in all the stuff with Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah.
He has an uncle that was making some money moves.
Yeah.
I think it's the way
money moves?
Yeah, he's making some deals.
Got money
some
moves?
Stuff. Yeah, you're right. The NBA is still investigating. And the last time Adam Silver talked about it, there was no new news.
Yeah.
So it's either we have to wait for Pablo Torre to
find out
what's going on there, or
I think he found out. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I think that's what started it all. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Kawhi Leonard, could he be dealt over the next couple of days? Jaylen Brown is still out there. Could he be dealt from the Boston Celtics? Minnesota makes a move for LaMello Ball. The Athletics reporting that the Timberwolves, before they made the move for LaMello, they were engaged in conversation with the Celtics over Jaylen Brown. They preferred the route going with the Charlotte trade because they would have to give up less. So we'll see. What is Boston asking for Jaylen Brown? And does he get moved? He has to get moved now. There's no way that they can go on together bringing Jaylen Brown back. I don't see that working out. So we'll keep our eyes on all the NBA action before we get to free agency. This is like that weird in-between period where players who are with their current teams can sign new deals, but free agency doesn't actually start until next week. A lot of trades taking place as well. In the NFL, can I ask you on a player that I'm wondering if he could be traded coming up? You know, we talk about quarterbacks and then backup quarterbacks who could be starters. Is it possible that the 49ers could trade Mac Jones?
They could. It seems like the asking price that Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are asking for has been, for lack of a better word that I can think of, astronomical for a backup quarterback. Now, when Mac Jones came in, because Brock Purdy was injured, he played really well. And you can say that that's a system thing. I watched every game that Mac Jones played at Alabama. He played really well. But again, like, he's not a starting level quarterback. Like, he's a really good backup. He might be one of the best backups in the NFL. If you need a guy to come in and play 3 to 4 games for you and so you can tread water, he's your guy. And in the right system, like the 49ers, I would say, like the Vikings, like the Rams, notice how I'm bringing up the coaches that develop quarterbacks really well. He can be a really good backup quarterback. And that's what Shanahan does. And so could he? Yeah, I'm sure. But right now, the asking price is what? A second-round pick for Mac Jones? Is what they've been telling people? That's insane.
And so, I agree. That's a high price. Eric Branch from the San Francisco Chronicle reports that if Curtis Roque plays well in the preseason or in training camp, that it's possible that the 49ers could deal Mac Jones, knowing that they have a backup on the roster already. So they're seeking the second-round pick. I don't know.
He was drafted in the 7th round.
No, I know. 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I know. I'm saying if I'm San Francisco, of course, your guy is Brock Purdy. Having a good backup is valuable. Mac Jones is probably in the conversation of one of 3 or 4 of the best backups in the NFL because, like, he's a part of that conversation of he actually could probably start for some teams. Like, we could probably list off a few teams that he could be a starter for. Cleveland, Arizona, New York, Jets.
Yeah.
Right? Like, those 3 teams all need quarterbacks. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if you threw Mac Jones into the Atlanta mix if he wasn't the guy that won that job. Miami as well. So there are a few teams that he could start. Now, if he was a starter, I wouldn't put Mac Jones as a good starter. He'd be one of the worst starters in the NFL, but he's a guy that could start. And he has started games. To me, it would be more worthwhile for the San Francisco 49ers to hold on to Mac Jones just to make sure that they have a backup quarterback through a season that they are expecting to compete in.
I don't know, man. If someone's offering you a second-round pick, you take it. For a backup quarterback, I'm taking it. A second-round pick? If someone's giving me that, if someone called you today and said, hey, we want to give you if the Cardinals today said, hey, we're going to give you a second-round pick, I'm driving Mac Jones to the airport.
Okay, but here's how my mind is working with this scenario. From Brock Purdy to Mac Jones, the drop-off from starter to backup is, I think, smaller than what we see with most teams that are going to compete for a championship.
Yeah.
So, like, if you look around the NFL and you say Josh Allen to the backup, it's a big drop-off. Lamar Jackson backup, big drop-off. Patrick Mahomes, big drop-off. But, like, Brock Purdy, you and I have a different opinion of Brock Purdy than a lot of people, and I think he is pedestrian at best.
He's replacement level.
He is an average-ass quarterback. That's what he is. Average ass. That's what he is. I mean, he doesn't do anything special. He is a solid quarterback, average. So, to me, that drop-off isn't ginormous, right? So, like, you could suggest that if Mac Jones had to play games for the 49ers, they could still be on the path to try and win a championship if Brock Purdy was injured.
So Brock Purdy went 7-2 last year in his 9 games. Mac Jones went 5-3 in his 8 games that he started. I mean, Mac Jones threw for 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. It's not bad. I'm just saying that, look, if we get to training camp, and if week 1 of training camp, Aaron Rodgers has a run out of the tunnel moment where that Achilles snaps again, and the Steelers call you and offer you a second-round pick, you're taking it.
Why would you do that to Aaron Rodgers?
Because I'm just saying that's the option. Because you're not like, I don't think the Cardinals or the
snap
Jets.
His Achilles.
The Cardinals or the Jets isn't a realistic option because I think they're in the we're going to be bad enough to get a first overall, second overall type of pick. The Steelers believe that they are in a playoff hunt, that they're going to try to compete for a championship this year. That's why they brought back Aaron Rodgers. However, the dude is on the north side of 40. And if he gets injured in training camp, you're going to go to Will Howard? So if that's the case and you can bring in Mac Jones and it costs you a second-round pick, you take it. Because, sure, Brock Purdy played in 9 games last year, but also the year before that he played in 15. And the year before that he played in 16. So it's not like he's often injured.
No.
He missed a couple games the year before and a couple games the year before that. So he's generally durable. It's last year where he missed more games than usual.
I saw this story earlier today. The 49ers. Now, you and I and Raj, we were all out there for the Super Bowl. It was a great time. We had a great time in San Francisco. You had an objective during the week in San Francisco to go down to the practice facility for the 49ers next to Levi Stadium and to scope things out.
Yeah.
It's been a story. People have talked about it the electrical substation that's near the practice facility.
Yeah.
And you were going to go down there and scout it out for all of us to give us a firsthand report.
I refused.
Eyewitness report.
Yeah.
You did not do that.
I refused.
Did you see the story coming out today that the 49ers are now looking into moving their practice facilities?
Oh, interesting. I wonder why that could be. Wow.
Now they are claiming.
Oh, what are they?
They are claiming.
Oh, please, Chris, tell me what excuse are they giving?
So the Niners are exploring a relocation of their practice facility, but they are claiming that this has nothing to do with being next to a electrical substation and the issues and the questions and the conspiracies that people have that the 49ers are often injured because of the deterioration of the muscles or ligaments or something based on being next to an electrical substation. They claim that they're running out of space.
What is it? Is the practice facility growing?
Yeah, they're looking to add more to the facility.
So it's like, is it physically like it's getting bigger every day? Like, is it?
No.
Like it's a growing organism because of the substation.
No, they want to build a larger building.
Oh, okay. Now okay. Oh, that's interesting. After their own player goes on multiple podcasts and starts pointing out how the trees aren't growing, so they just removed them. Huh, interesting.
That is true.
Interesting. How George Kittle's out there, huh?
Kittle noticed that his rookie year that the trees around the facility all had leaves, and then now the trees don't have leaves on them anymore.
No, they just took the trees out.
So
they just removed them.
They pulled the trees out.
They just removed the trees. Interesting.
Yeah, so they claim there's no connection between the conspiracy theories and the proximity to the electrical substation to them possibly moving their new facility somewhere else.
It's interesting how Christian McCaffrey doesn't want to do his rehab at that facility, how he's going overseas.
Well, that's also other.
To get his knee fixed.
Well,
What?
A lot of athletes go overseas to do that.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they? Yeah?
Don't they call
Name
that
them all.
Kobe. Didn't Kobe go overseas?
1.
Didn't Dirk go
2.
overseas? Luka?
3.
Yeah. NBA players who have knee injuries.
Out of how many players in the NFL? There's a 53-man roster on every team has a 53-man roster. Times how many players in the NFL?
Well, McCaffrey wants to be ready to go.
Okay.
He wants to rock and roll.
Why
for the
isn't he
football
doing
season.
it as his own facility?
I'm just saying he wants to get after it.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
So there. So you think this is all connected?
Once again.
Yeah.
Once again.
Okay.
Raj, I would like to point out, never wrong, just early. Never wrong, just early. I told you this is why I did not want to risk my body going to the facility.
Yes, because it's in
That's
such
why I don't want to.
peak physical condition.
I'm just saying, didn't want to risk my boys out there. Okay.
What do you think they're going to fall off?
I don't know. I don't want to lose a ligament. Okay. I don't want to lose an ACL or something like that. Golf swing's bad enough. Okay? Never wrong, just early. And when they move, just saying.
They're running out of
space.
That's all it is.
Running out of space.
They're running out of space.
Oh, running out of space. Oh,
yeah, they're running out of space.
We need to add a cafeteria. We need to. We want to redo the bathroom.
I'm sure they have a cafeteria.
We want to redo the bathrooms. We need to move. Oh, okay. We need to add more parking spots. We need to move. Okay. Sure you do. Okay. Cool. All right.
All right. So yeah, that's taking place in San Francisco.
Yeah. Should probably do it sooner rather than later. You got a bunch of olds on your team.
I don't think there's any connection.
Okay.
People live next to electrical substations all the time.
They're not
all over the
They're not in
place.
peak physical condition. They're not supposed to be in peak physical condition. Getting into what doctors what doctors equate to car accidents every play.
Yeah,
We're not
They're the
asking
most
you to be
injured
in peak
team
physical
in the
condition
NFL,
and you didn't
Chris.
want to go.
Yeah, Raj said you didn't want to go.
It wasn't my thing.
No, but I'm saying, Abdalla, you didn't want to go. You don't need to be in
Yeah.
peak physical condition. You
I
can
didn't
win.
want to go.
Yeah, he didn't want to go because he didn't want to sit in traffic.
Well, who wants to sit in traffic?
That's a different
Who wants to sit in traffic?
conversation.
Listen, okay.
He didn't want to sit in traffic.
Tell me, we're talking about them not wanting to give up their backup quarterback for more than a second-round pick. We're talking about Christian McCaffrey, who's injured. They're injured all the time. This is the one team that when we say, if they stay healthy, oh, well, we got to assume everyone's going to stay healthy. The 49ers, you have to say if they stay healthy because they're always injured. It's this team. They have no ligaments.
They have no ligaments.
They have no ligaments.
They have no ligaments. Yes, thank you. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Did you see with Brandon Ayuk as well? Speaking of what are we doing? What is he doing?
I don't know, man.
What is Brandon Ayuk?
He's trying to get away from the substation.
What are we doing? What's going on?
What is he doing? Did you see his latest Instagram video from yesterday?
He's been on the forefront trying to get away from the substation.
I think the advice that someone should give to Brandon Ayuk is just sit this out. Just wait it. Like you telling everyone on social media that the moment you're gonna be released, you're signing with Washington. You better watch out. Like what? Are we okay?
Are they gonna want this headache?
Well, that's the other thing. Like I know that he's very good friends with Jaden Daniels, and that's why he thinks he's going to the Commanders.
Is he good friends with Dan Quinn?
But if I'm the Commanders, I wouldn't want to put up with first of all, Brandon Ayuk. When was the last time he did anything in the league?
Don't know.
Hasn't it been years? When was the last time he was healthy? 2023. He had 75 catches, 7 touchdowns, 1,300 yards. 2023. That's 3 seasons ago. Like, who cares?
I don't.
Dude, no one cares.
Look, if he goes out there and plays really well for the Commanders next season, then cool. But as of right now, you're just a dude posted on Instagram that the 49ers don't have to deal with. Stay away from the substation, stay away from the facility. And they don't have to do anything right now.
Didn't we also talk about this the last time Ayuk went on Instagram and said some crazy blank? That didn't we talk about this? That like the 49ers theoretically could just do nothing.
They could.
Because once they get to training camp, if he doesn't show up to training camp,
start fining him.
Then he can get fined every single day. And wasn't it like $50,000 he'll get fined for every training camp practice that he misses?
It's a lot of money.
So there is no incentive for the 49ers to do anything.
Yep.
Like it would actually behoove him to show up and be there and be an annoyance, but also be present.
Yep.
Because then they'd be like, all right, we need to get this guy out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like he's toxic in the locker room. He's ruining the culture that we have here.
Conduct detrimental to the team.
But if he's sitting at home just on Instagram saying, you're going to see, I'm going to go to the Commanders.
It's not tampering because the Commanders are like,
no, they haven't said anything.
We're not doing anything, man. Keep our name out of your mouth, man. What are we doing?
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Coming up next, we'll have over and under with Raj, LaMello Ball, and Anthony Edwards. How many points per game will they combine together next season? We'll talk about that coming up next. International soccer is taking over the U.S., and only DraftKings has you fully covered.
The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states, so at all the matches you love, all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code BNA26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days.
That's code BNA26 for Bleck and Abdalla 26 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involve risk of loss. Sportsbook's bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks, expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms and
The NBA Draft. Will DeBonza be the generational talent to bring a championship to the nation's capital for the first time in nearly 50 years? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Each day we broadcast the show live from downtown Chicago, and now we go on out to parts unknown in Colorado, and that's where we find Raj Sharon.
And the next question comes from the line of Raj Shahram with Westwood One. Please proceed.
Please proceed. On a Thursday, it's time for over and unders with Raj. What's up, Raj?
What's up, fellas? All right, we got a lot to get to today. A lot going on in the world of the NBA as well as the NFL. We're going to start with the big trade earlier today. LaMello Ball is now a Minnesota Timberwolf. So the question we ask, LaMello Ball and his new backcourt mate, you might have heard of him, Anthony Edwards, will combine to average over or under 55.5 points next season. If you take their numbers from this past year, it would put you right under 49. So I'm asking if they're going to score more together next year, Abdalla.
I am going to say over because I think that what I believe it was Windhorst that we heard from will be correct, that teams will double team Anthony Edwards. That'll give LaMello more open shots. He will make more of those open shots, and that will lead to a higher total than last year. So I'm going to go over the 55.5 point because also LaMello I know that that Chris gave those numbers, that those were the lowest numbers of his career, the 20.7 rebounds. He also played the lowest amount of minutes he's ever played in his career. So if he's healthy next season and he plays more minutes, he should also have more points and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to say over.
It wasn't the lowest in his career. It was the lowest since his second season in the league.
Yeah.
So last season for the Hornets, LaMello was 20 points per game. He also played 28 minutes. Let's see. If you go back to his second season in the NBA, he averaged 20 points in 32 minutes per night. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling generous. I'll go over because I think LaMello will score more points with the Timberwolves. So I think because he will up his average back up to, if you tick that back up to about 25, that gets you the over right there. So I think LaMello, and then that's not even factoring in that if LaMello plays better, maybe Anthony Edwards also plays better. So I'm going to go over that number, Raj.
All right, guys. Next up, a guy we just talked about in San Francisco, quarterback Mac Jones. Last year, he started 8 games. This year, Mac Jones will start over or under 7.5 games, and I'm not quantifying it for a team. So is that in San Francisco? Could be somewhere else, or maybe Joe Flacco style. It's a combination during this season. Bleck, over or under 7.5 starts for Mac Jones this season?
I'm going to go under. I think it's fun today to sit and say he could start for a team and play it out that way. Brock Purdy, stay healthy, and this doesn't happen. So I'm going to say under.
I will also say under. We pointed out that it was Purdy played in 15 games last year, 16 and 15 or whatever, flip it either way. He played in most games 2 years ago and 3 years ago. So it was last year, it was an anomaly that he was injured for about half the year. So I'm going to also say under. I'm going to say that Purdy stays healthy and that for at least, a majority of the season, and maybe Mac Jones has to come in and start for 2 or 3, but, it's not the over 7.5 like Raj here laid out. Or that he doesn't get traded either. I think he stays on because no one's willing to pay a second-round pick for a backup quarterback. Come on, what are we doing here?
All right, guys, next up, back to the NBA, name we've been talking a lot about. Jaylen Brown, last year, without Jason Tatum most of the season, averaged a career high 28.7 points per game. So the next question I'm asking you to kind of project, you got to plan, is he still in Boston? Is he somewhere else on a new team? What team is he on? And wherever he is, will he average over or under that same amount, his career high that he just had last year, 28.7 points per game? Abdalla?
I'm going to say under because last year, for the majority of the season, he was the Batman because Tatum was hurt. And so he had to do everything. And that's why he's probably a little pissed off because he was doing everything. And now, in order to, when, Brad Stevens says that the team isn't good enough to compete and to win, that means he's the one that has to be out. And so he's going to go to a team where he's also not going to be the alpha. Let's say he goes to Denver. He's not the alpha there. Come on. So I'm going to say under, because regardless of where he goes, he's still going to be the number 2. He's still going to be the Robin. So I'm going to say under 28.7 points per game.
All right, Raj, I'm going over because I think Jaylen Brown goes scorched earth. I think he gets to his new squad, and he will be so upset with the way that he was treated in Boston that he is going to be a man on a mission next season. Wow. So whoever lands Jaylen Brown, you will get a guy that will be back in the MVP conversation like we saw last year, except he's going to be in a situation. I agree with you, Abdalla, that he's going to be on a team likely with another star player who's probably better than he is. So if we were playing stock watch, I would buy the Jaylen Brown stock, and I think he will go over the number of 28.7 this upcoming season.
I like it. You are not arguing with your grandma today, Chris Bleck. All right,
nope,
back to the
I'm
NFL.
No, I'm not. Yep.
We've got reports that the Baltimore Ravens are trying to get a new deal done with their wide receiver, Zay Flowers. We know they're also trying to get a deal done with their quarterback, Lamar Jackson. There's a new coaching staff there. We got Jesse Minter as the head coach. Declan Doyle is trying to replicate what they've done where you guys are broadcasting from in Chicago. He's trying to bring that Caleb Williams Bears offense to Baltimore. So all that in mind, let's talk a little about Zay Flowers. Last year, he had just over 1,200 yards receiving previous year, which was up from the previous year. Does that trend continue now as Declan Doyle tries to bring this Bears offense to Baltimore? Zay Flowers will go over or under 1,299.5 receiving yards. What do you say, Abdalla?
Argue with your grandma.
I am not going to argue with my grandma.
Yes.
I am going to go... Oh, that's a tough number. I'm going to say under still. I'm still going to say under. I think that right around 1,200, right around where he was last season, is going to be good, because if Doyle brings what Ben Johnson was doing for Caleb Williams, it's going to be a lot of chunk plays. It's going to be a lot of big plays, and those are very hit or miss. So the completion percentage might go down for Lamar Jackson, which means the yardage might go down for Zay Flowers. But the chunk plays will be there. Those like 15 yards a play, 12 yards a play, that kind of stuff, picking up first downs. But that means the yardage might also go down. So I'm going to say under.
I'm going to go over. I like it. I like the style of offense, and I think that a player like Zay Flowers is by far the most talented receiver on the roster, and he will flourish in the new style of offense with Declan Doyle calling things for Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go over that number, Raj.
All right, guys, let's go back to the NBA. Another player that's been talked about in trade talks. A lot of notable players. Ja Morant. It sounds like he's on his way out of Memphis. I was pretty shocked when I looked this up. He has not played a lot in his career. 20, 50, 9, 61, 57, 63, and 67 games. He's only had 1 year in his whole career, and it was his rookie year when he hit the 65-game threshold to receive awards. So if you average those numbers, it's 47.5 games, and that's where I set the number. Ja Morant, wherever he is next year, will play over or under 47.5 games. Mr. Bleck?
I'm going to go under. I would also add, if we said who is the most disappointing NBA star of recent time, who's the guy that you think of since Ja Morant? I mean, Morant's he was supposed to be the next superstar.
Yeah.
The next guy to be to carry the mantle of lead guards in the league. Mm-hmm. The things that he did in college and that tournament run and then his rookie season in the NBA it was incredible.
Yeah.
What happened? I mean, we know what happened, but boy, the fall from grace.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under, Raj. I don't think he's durable. I don't think he really puts a lot of effort in off the court to get his body right and to get his mind right. So I'm going to say under.
All right, guys.
I am also going to...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Abdalla. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm also going to say under for the same reasons Chris said. And I don't know where he's going to play either. So I don't think he's going to be playing in Memphis. So I'm going to go under. I'm also going to go under. Raj.
All right. So this next guy we talked about a little bit earlier, Kawhi Leonard. Would you believe that at the age of 34, he actually turns 35 next week, he just had his career high in points per game this past season of 27.9 points per game. Now, we don't know where he's going to play next year. Maybe Pablo Torre knows. He might be the only one who could find out. But wherever he plays, Kawhi Leonard will average over under that career high of 27.9 points per game. Mr. Abdalla.
I'm gonna say under. Life catches up with you. Him averaging that much in a career high at that age, it's tough to replicate again. Him staying healthy is always a question too. So I'm gonna say under. I think life comes at you fast. I'm going to say under.
I'm going to say under because if you watch the Clippers last year, Kawhi had to do everything for them.
Yeah.
You know, they move off of James Harden mid-season, and Kawhi took over. He was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And as Raj pointed out, the 27.9 points per game, career high. Yeah, I'm going to say under just because I don't think Kawhi will have to do it all. If he's with the Clippers or elsewhere, he's not going to have to do all of the scoring by himself. So I'm going to go under.
All right, guys, and finally, we go back to the NFL. Brandon Ayuk. How much, he had like over 1,300 yards or 1,400, whatever it was, a few years ago. But that was a few years ago. So I set the number at 727.5 receiving yards for Brandon Ayuk this season, which just so happens to be the number that his former teammate, who also went from San Francisco to Washington, Deebo Samuel, had last year as the kind of number 2 target in Washington, although Terry McLaurin was injured. So I set it at 727.5. I'm kind of playing a little game here of it, figuring where Brandon Ayuk is going to play next season. Brandon Ayuk, over under 727.5 receiving yards. Bleck?
I'm going to go under because I don't think Ayuk is going to play on a team this upcoming season.
I was going to ask you, if I set the over-under at 10, would you still go under?
I don't think it. Like,
I agree.
Why would a team take the risk?
I agree.
He hasn't been in the league for a couple years.
I agree.
I'm gonna go under because even if he's on a roster, say he gets his way and he's with Washington.
Yep.
Is that going to be smooth? He's just going to show up and he's just going to be an awesome player for the Commanders?
Yep.
I don't see that. I'm going to go under, Raj.
I agree.
All right, that does it for today.
All right, there it is. Hey, okay. All right.
Hey,
Thank you, Raj.
Over
under. Love it. From Parts Unknown, that's Raj Sharon producing the show each and every day. Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. The U.S. men's national team, they play their final game in the group stage tonight. They've already advanced to the round of 32. But why should you watch tonight? What's important about tonight's match? We'll tell you coming up next.
The U.S. men's national team is cruising. They've clinched first place in Group D. Can they finish group play 3-0? U.S. versus Turkey. Thursday night, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
All right, full disclosure. I'm not doing this to be disrespectful. I'm being honest. How are we saying turkey? Is it turkey A or is it turkey? This is not a bit. I'm being serious. Because Fox is going with turkey A.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Times today went with turkey.
That rag. Well,
so what are we doing?
I mean,
it's turkey.
Hold on.
I'm not
the
trying
New York
to be
Times
offensive.
is something you read.
No,
so
I know, but also when you read on the graphics, different channels are going with turkey A.
How is Zlatan Ibrahimovic pronouncing it?
I don't know. How is he?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out tonight.
I guess we will find out tonight. It's a series. Like ESPN.com has it as turkey A.
Yeah.
So that's reading. You said something that's written. The New York Times is written. New York Times is going with turkey.
Okay.
We're talking about the same country. I'm making sure everyone knows.
They pronounce it Turkey.
Turkey. Okay,
like
so
over
we'll
there, it's pronounced Turkey.
Okay, perfect. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm a dumb American, so I'm asking.
I don't think you needed to add American.
Well, I'm just saying I am, and that's why I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just I know in the last couple of days there's been a lot of back and forth of different places, publications going with different
I mean, they're eliminated anyway. So.
Oh, all right. Well, tonight, the U.S. is facing off against Turkey this evening. It'll be 10 o'clock Eastern, live from Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium for the U.S. men's national team, their final match of the group stage. They're already advanced into the round of 32. Mm-hmm. So tonight's match does not necessarily matter at all. Not for getting, not to advance, not for anything. They don't even need goal differential. They don't need tonight's game. There's also a situation that the U.S. has heading into this match where they have 4 players who are on yellow card. So they are likely to sit tonight, and that's Chris Richards, Anthony Robinson, Tyler Adams, and Flo Balogun. Mm-hmm. So they're all going to sit tonight. So 4 of the best players for the U.S. will sit. Christian Pulisic yesterday told the media that he's fit and ready to play. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing he will also sit tonight as well. But sometimes soccer is different than, say, other sports that we follow here in America, where if a game is not needed or if a player is ready, sometimes players do play for fitness.
Yeah.
So I would guess the way it will play for Pulisic tonight is that he won't be in the starting group and that you may see him towards the end of the match at some point.
Yeah. Mauricio Pochettino said that that's the manager. He said that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just letting people know.
I know. We have to slow it down for.
I'm telling people who don't know.
Because right now, Raj is not happy that we're talking soccer.
I'm telling people who aren't familiar.
I know
that he could play. He could come off the bench. He is ready to play. I'd give him a little bit of run. I'd give him the final 20. Why not? Give him the final 20. Because right now they're set to play Bosnia-Herzegovina on Thursday, July 2nd. That would be their next match in the round of 32.
Yep.
So we're a week away from that. Give him some run. He didn't play in the match against Australia, so he hasn't played in a while. I'd give him some run. Just go get your steps in. Don't do anything crazy. Don't make any hard tackles. Don't take any hard tackles.
Yeah. Don't mix it up.
Yeah. Just go get some steps in.
Avoid anyone tonight looking to give you a cleat on the calf.
Exactly. Just go get some steps in.
Yeah, get some run. So I'm guessing we will see Pulisic at some point tonight. Yeah. But it's good news that he is fit and ready to go. And he told the media yesterday that that's the case because the round of 32 starts next week. Mm-hmm. As Abdalla said, the U.S., they're already slotted in for a July 2nd match. We'll see who the opponent is. It is likely to be Bosnia-Herzegovina, but we will see. That could change.
It could.
It could change, but it likely won't. The other item I would add to this is right now the way the tournament bracket is shaping up is if the U.S. could win that game in the round of 32, they are likely to face off against Egypt in the next round, so the round of 16, which would be a United States would be favored in that match, and poor Abdalla would have to look himself in the mirror and figure out which side he's going to root for.
I can't say it's a Sophie's choice because if you've watched that movies,
I have not.
That's not a good decision to make.
Who stars in that?
I believe it's Sally Field.
Okay, continue on.
Sophie's choice.
All right, don't get bogged down.
You asked the question. Asked the question.
Give us your U.S. Egyptian thought.
Well, the U.S. is a lot better.
Yes.
It's Meryl Streep, by the way. It's not Sophie's choice.
Close.
Sally Field is not Without My Daughter, is what I was thinking of. Which is a movie about someone who goes overseas and is not going to leave without her daughter. Anyway,
I'll Google the Sophie's choice. Yes. Continue on with your thought.
Listen, the U.S. is a lot better than Egypt. The Egyptians were happy to win their first ever World Cup match the other night. If Egypt it's no guarantee that Egypt even gets out of the group. Like, they have to win their final match tomorrow. Like, they're still not a guarantee. Like, their group is still up for grabs. Like, they have to win. Like, other things still have to go their way. So that's not even set yet.
That's why I'm saying it's not, the tournament bracket's not set yet. We got 3 more days of group stage.
Yeah.
I will say this. The only other thing to add to this is Egypt would be likely the second team you would face in the knockout round. And then if you got to the round of 8, you would be looking at Spain.
Probably.
And Spain and France are the 2 best teams in the tournament. So that's what's on the horizon. Now, if you could get past Spain,
ooh, baby.
Germany is the only other team over there.
Dream big.
And Germany is a team that the U.S. could play with.
Dream big.
If you could get past Spain,
dream big.
Then if they could beat Spain in the round of 8, then we're talking soccer culture changing in this country. We're talking about something that I think people could only dream of. So, all right, I'm looking up the Sophie's Choice, but I don't want to bog you down because now it's time for the World Cup of Soup. Yep.
No soup for you. Bleck and Abdalla's World Cup of Soup.
Soup is good food.
Abdalla has been taste testing a soup from each country out of one of the groups of each group here in the World Cup group stage. He has 12 groups, and there's only 2 more soups left to taste test. Today's group is?
We're coming to an end here, unfortunately, and today we are going to go to Group J.
Group J.
And Group J consists of Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan. And Group J, if you're an alphabet aficionado, we're going to go with J is for Jordan. Habibi, we're going to Jordan.
Okay,
yeah,
Jordan.
That's right, an Arab
All
country.
right.
We're going to go to Jordan. This is their first ever World Cup. So shout out to Jordan. And we are going to be trying some red lentil soup. And Chris made a comment. This is called red lentil soup. It's called Shorbat Ades is actually the name in Arabic. And this is it's a Jordanian lentil soup with a mix of red lentils, vegetables, spices, and stock. It's traditionally when you break your fast during Ramadan. But they offer it basically, it's kind of like the Arabic version of miso soup. Like when you go to an Arab restaurant, you just kind of get it.
It's just there.
It's just there. Like they just kind of give it to you. So, and Chris made a comment. It's he saw it was green.
It looks a little green.
It's yellow, even though it's called red.
Yellow.
Even though it's called red lentil soup, it's yellow.
Well, show the folks on YouTube. It's like an Abdalla show on YouTube.
I don't want to spill it on my computer, but
you can lick it up.
Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, here we go.
He's going for the soup. There he is. Face first into the soup. The taste testing of the soup.
They give you a big hunk of lemon too that I had to squeeze into it. So
that's good. I love lemon. Lemon's great. Lemons are yellow.
Thanks, Chris. Okay. This has garlic. I'm going to taste the garlic.
Yeah.
Lots of cumin. I can tell you that. Lots of cumin.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to give this Jordanian lentil soup. I'm going to give it a...
We're waiting. Yes.
Solid 4.
A solid 4.
Solid
All right.
4.
For you.
All right.
Bleck and Abdalla's
Solid
World
4.
Solid 4.
Cup of Soup.
Solid 4.
Long pause.
It's good. It's good.
Solid 4.
I've had better, but it's good.
Long pause before the grade.
It's good. It's good. It's really good.
That's something.
It's good.
All right. I mean, it would be a big deal.
It's a thick soup.
And tomorrow's the final soup for the group stage.
Yeah, tomorrow's the final one, and we will be in Group I, which is France, Norway, Senegal, and Iraq.
You're gonna go with an Iraqi soup tomorrow?
I don't know. Tune in and find out.
Okay, all right.
It's called a tease, Chris.
If I had to guess, you will be rolling in with some French onion soup.
I already did that. And I poured a bunch of maple syrup in it.
I know, you
to
use
make
that
it Canadian.
for Canada.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a big trade in the NBA today. Who is the winner and which team are we confused by? We'll talk about that next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern. Then Jim Rome will take over right here on Westwood One Sports. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. This morning, the Charlotte Hornets traded LaMello Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Heading back to Charlotte, Naz Reid, first-round pick swaps, 3 of them. the 2033 first-round pick. So Charlotte loading up on future draft picks and swapping with the Timberwolves in the next 3 seasons. And they land Naz Reid to add to the core of young players, Brandon Miller and Con Knipple. And they just re-signed today Kobe White. So Charlotte putting together a crew, a good young team. And Minnesota now searching to pair another star with Anthony Edwards. And LaMello Ball is now in the backcourt with Anthony Edwards, making the Timberwolves one of the most dangerous backcourts in the NBA. I just don't really understand this move for the Timberwolves. I get it for Charlotte. I think the Hornets are going to be a better team without LaMello and adding Naz Reid. For Minnesota, I don't know if you can make the same argument. Shipping off Julius Randle and Naz Reid in the last couple of days and only bringing back LaMello Ball, I don't think the Timberwolves are a better team today than they were yesterday.
Well, Charlotte is picking a direction, clearly, and that direction is not LaMello Ball. And this is one team's trash is another team's treasure. The Athletic is reporting that this is a move that the Timberwolves have been after for the last 2 years in trying to pair LaMello Ball with Anthony Edwards. And so by doing that, this is, like you said, one of the most dangerous backcourts in the NBA. Now, they sacrifice some defense. They sacrifice some decent three-point shooting in the same guy, in Naz Reid. And I think that it's pairing a guy in LaMello Ball that has a completely different mindset and completely different attitude about the way he approaches basketball than the entire Timberwolves team. The reason that we love the Wolves as a team is because they kind of embody the attitude of Anthony Edwards, which is like the image from The Last Dance of Michael Jordan with the baseball bat and the cigar, of the, like, I'm just going to F up everybody and, like, I don't really care. And, like, they're not good enough to do that, obviously, but, like, which is why they haven't won the West or anything like that.
The Anthony Edwards attitude is one that you can get behind as a fan.
Exactly. And, like, they're gritty and they're tough and they play, quote, ethical basketball, and, like, Gobert's a good defensive player. And then you add LaMello Ball, who doesn't play any defense, who's going to shoot from 40 feet out at every chance he gets. And it'll be extremely interesting to see how that meshes, and he is added to this new culture of the Minnesota Timberwolves, because clearly the Charlotte Hornets were not willing to, and I'm not going to say put up with, because I don't think, like, his, quote, antics were, like, that bad or anything like that. Like, he's a good player. Like, they won 32 of their last 45 games. I think they were just picking a different direction. They were just not their future. He just wasn't in their future. And they were developing a team that was young and that was playing well together. And he's not a part of that anymore.
I think it's fair to say, and it's important to clearly state, like, he's not a problem.
No.
LaMello Ball is not a problem.
That's what I mean.
With that said, he doesn't seem to be serious.
No.
Is that the best way to describe it? Like, he's not necessarily a problem, but he's an unserious person, I guess, in the basketball landscape. Is that a fair way to look at it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's concerned about his cars and his tattoos and his off-the-court stuff. And, like, is he really serious about winning?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's the key here, is that Charlotte clearly didn't want to hitch their wagon to LaMello Ball for the long-term future. They already gave him the contract, and they're willing to move off of him. Now, reports from ESPN suggested that they weren't shopping him, that teams came calling, and they took advantage of that, and I think they did. And if someone's calling, and as Adam correctly states, this is one man's treasures, another man's trash situation, I could see how teams call and say, hey, what could we offer you for LaMello Ball? And Charlotte looking around and saying, wow, we can get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
We can move on. We can actually bring back talent and add to the stockpile for the future. And then also now we have a spot for Kobe White to play. And Like from the Charlotte Hornets perspective, I love this deal. This makes a lot of sense. Naz Reid is a great three-point shooter and a good defensive player. You have Miller already there. You have Knipple already there. They gave the deal a new contract to Kobe White. Kobe White last season for the Hornets was awesome off the bench. Now he can move into a starting role, which he's done in the past. It's not like this is going to be a first-time thing for Kobe White. I really like the way the Hornets are building this team. So in an Eastern Conference where the Knicks are the champs, we don't know what's going to happen with Boston. And then you got a couple of young teams that are pretty good right there. Detroit, Cleveland, Atlanta. Charlotte now enters the mix. Orlando kind of being felt like they're being lost in the dust with this. So we'll see if Orlando can kind of take a step forward in this upcoming season. And then you have the wild card in Miami. We don't know how that's going to go with Giannis and Bam Adebayo and how that's going to shape up. So I really like this move for the Hornets. They also got below the tax threshold. I think they're saving like $75 million on the cap. So it's great financially. They get draft picks in the future. And I think basketball-wise, it makes a lot of sense. Now, for Lonzo Ball, for LaMello Ball specifically, I think the one thing to kind of take away is he didn't have career lows last season, but in the last 3 years, he was a better player than what he was last season. So last year, he averaged 20 points per game, 7 assists, 4 rebounds per. Those were the lowest totals he's had since 2022. So he was an ascending star in the league. At one point, 2 seasons ago, averaging 25 per night, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. So like a true star in the league. Last year, it took a step back. So which player are the Timberwolves getting? Are the Timberwolves getting a guy who's the 20 points per game scorer, or are they getting a guy from the 2025 season where he's scoring 25 a night and getting you 7 assists and 5 rebounds per? Because if you pair a player that can give you 25 a night in the backcourt with Anthony Edwards, that's going to be a lethal combination. Now, I don't know how that really works with the rest of the team. I would assume just signed a new contract. Jane McDaniels is there. And then you have Rudy Gobert. So, that's your starting group. I don't know how that stacks up in the Western Conference.
I think you're getting a guy in LaMelo Ball that's going to give Anthony Edwards something that he hasn't had yet. He hasn't had a real point guard. He's done a lot of the ball handling himself. He's had to do a lot of the scoring himself. He is going to get a much better point guard than what he's had in the past. And he's getting a guy that I think is going to turn more into that 25 a night guy than the 20 night a guy, because, when Anthony Edwards is when you get into a playoff situation and Anthony Edwards gets all the double teams, LaMelo Ball is more lethal than anybody else that the Timberwolves have had when he's open, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And all the 40-footers aren't going to hit, but when he's open, a lot of them will. And I think that because the Timberwolves are going to make the playoffs. There's no guarantee that the Hornets would. Last year, in January, they were completely out of the playoff pictures. They won 32 of their last 45 games, and they were in the play-in. They beat the Miami Heat in overtime. They lost to the Magic. And, but for their franchise, where they were, that was a success. So I think that this is not necessarily an upgrade for the Timberwolves, but they're also looking at a situation where you needed to upgrade your roster somehow, and you needed to do something. You can't just run it back, because you look at what you have in Oklahoma City and you look what you have in San Antonio, and you can't just say, we're fine and we're just going to run it back and try again, because it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough to get you to a Western Conference Finals, and you can't just keep saying, we're going to try again. Because the Thunder keep getting better and the Spurs keep getting better. So you have to keep trying, and you have to keep trying because you have to keep Anthony Edwards happy. Because the worst thing that can happen is that Anthony Edwards comes to you in a year after this year, if it doesn't work, and you've done nothing to address the situation of not getting better, and you've done absolutely nothing, and he says, you guys haven't done anything, I want out. And then you're dealing with the same situation where you've got a disgruntled superstar and you're having to trade him, and then Minnesota's stuck with nothing. So at least they're doing something. Whether Anthony Edwards wanted to play with LaMello Ball or this is just the front office saying this is our best option, this is what we're going to try to do. Maybe they tried to get Jaylen Brown and it didn't work or whatever. But this is a situation where at least they're doing something with their team to compete with Oklahoma City and San Antonio. I don't think they're going to be anywhere close to them. The odds on DraftKings, promo code BNA26.
What up?
It doesn't put them anywhere closer to them in the odds to win the West. But at least it's something.
No, it's true. It is something. I would just say I think Charlotte got better today. I think Minnesota got worse.
That's fair.
That's my assessment on the trade. And I think that's what we're seeing here with the Charlotte Hornets trading LaMello Ball to Minnesota, to the Timberwolves, Nasri going back to Charlotte. You can text the show at 310-840-4910. We have a text from the 918, which I believe is the Tulsa area. Let's see. Melo Ball can't stay healthy and will take shots away from Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
This is a text from the 331. Where's the 331 from? Let's see. 331. From the Chicagoland area.
All right.
331. Shout out. All right. Here's the text. Hornets players will be better with Ball out. Kobe White is better overall point guard for the team going forward. I kind of feel that way.
You might be.
Now, I would say this. LaMelo has flash. He has a star quality and star ability. He just needs to hone it in, like rein it in, and play a little defense. And I think that would be the case. From the 615, here's the text. I don't ever remember Mike or Kobe playing with a, quote, star point guard. Edwards is cut from their cloth. I don't know, dude.
I mean, Mike and Kobe also won championships, and Anthony Edwards hasn't won anything. So
it's true.
I don't know, dude.
When did what? You got a problem with that? I agree with the texter.
No,
from the
I mean, listen,
615.
that's fine. But also, Mike and Kobe also won. Anthony Edwards hasn't won anything.
Yeah, I don't know if I would build my team by getting a star point guard next to my shooting guard who needs the ball in his hands.
That's fine. I'm not saying they're going to win anything. I'm just saying they're doing something. At least they're trying to do something. They probably would have been better off getting Jaylen Brown, but they didn't. They didn't want to give up more than what they gave up. So they didn't.
No, I know they didn't. So that's the trade. You can join us at 310-840-4910. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I saw this earlier today. I want to bring it to everyone's attention. Did you see that Ben Johnson and Colson Loveland had a message for Chicago Bears fans earlier today? Take a listen to this. Yes.
What's going on, Bears fans? It's Coach Johnson.
Colston Loveland here. We've got some huge news for you, and it's coming this Christmas.
The Chicago Bears are teaming up with the Hallmark Channel,
the NFL, and Skydance Sports
for a holiday touchdown, a Bears love story coming this Christmas.
The one's for fans and everybody who rides with us in Bear Nation.
My wife Jessica and I will definitely be tuning in for this one.
More to share soon. Until then, bear down.
Bear down.
Yep. Okay, first of all,
holiday touchdown.
That was from the Chicago Bears
story.
social media. Yeah, the title is Holiday Touchdown, a Bears Love Story. It'll be on the Hallmark Channel. Mm-hmm. It sounded like Ben Johnson and Colson Loveland were both like held hostage, having to read those.
It looked like Ben Johnson was held hostage. Colson Loveland looked like he was kind of into it, at least. But Ben Johnson was definitely, if you know anything about Ben Johnson, that was 45 seconds out of his day that he will not get back.
Yeah, wasting his day when he could be talking football and get ready for the season.
Absolutely. So Holiday Touchdown, a Bears love story on the Hallmark Channel.
Okay.
It's going to be a football love story. Now, Chris.
A football love story.
Now, Chris,
I'm confused. So wait, the Bears are teaming up with Hallmark to put this movie together? Or is Hallmark just making a movie and using Bears branding?
I'm pretty sure they're just going to be using Bears branding.
And the Bears will help promote.
And the Bears are going to help promote this. Now,
Okay.
Chris, I'm asking you.
Yes.
What are you doing on Monday and Tuesday because
of next week?
Because There is, and any of our fine fans listening in the greater Chicagoland area, if you want to be a part of this, there is an open casting call going on.
You can be an
for
extra?
the movie. You could be an extra in the movie. Now, the fitting dates are Monday and Tuesday. So they, that's when they check you out. They measure your inseam and all that.
They take your sizing.
The fitting dates are Monday and Tuesday.
The large male.
Easy.
And the filming dates are Tuesday and Wednesday, July 7th and 8th.
So the following week. So there's fittings
week.
next week, and then the actual shoot is 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, now this is a Christmas-themed movie. The production will have water and cooling tents available, but the scenes will require you to wear winter attire while filming in July, so it's going to be hot.
They're filming in Chicago.
They're filming in Chicago. That's why they want extras here. That's why I asked what you were doing.
It's going to be in the 90s for the next 10 days.
That's why they're going to have cooling tents if you want to. Now, I don't know if you have this. If you have this, it's a plus. If you have this, it's a plus.
Sure.
Do you have any Bears apparel? If
I do.
yes, if you happen to have any apparels from the 60s, 70s, or Super Bowl eras, be specific, like a 1967 Gale Sayers jersey or a Ditka sweater vest is a plus if you do. Also, if you have any Bears-themed tailgating items like grills, tents, tables, games, do you decorate your vehicle for a tailgate with a bear theme? You know that Bear Man that they show all the time, the super fan?
He's on TV all the time.
He's on TV all the time. I bet he's good. I wonder if it's a love story for him.
Finding his mate?
Him finding his bear lady.
Okay, can I ask a question? So they're filming a Christmas film.
Yeah.
Set in December.
Yep.
Filming it in downtown Chicago.
Yep.
In July.
Yep. And it'll be released around the holidays. Probably around Thanksgiving, I bet.
Have any of these Hollywood types, have any of these people ever traveled to Chicago in December? It doesn't look like this.
Well, I mean, but they're going to add. That's what they have CGI. That's what they have CGI for.
We have something here called winter.
CGI,
the green,
bro.
all the beautiful green that we see out there in the city of Chicago. All the trees, they lose their leaves.
CGI.
It's dark, depressing,
CGI.
gray.
CGI.
That's what Chicago looks like in December and January.
Not when you're looking for love.
But they're going to be filming. They're going to what? They're going to be on the Riverwalk with 90-degree weather. Riverwalk with everyone bundled up in jackets and leaves on all the trees and the birds chirping.
Don't worry about that.
I'm worried about the continuity of the film.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
I'm worried about the integrity of how it's going to look on film.
You show up with your Charles Peanut Tillman jersey, okay?
I do have a Charles Tillman jersey, yes.
And you show up there with your attire
ready for a peanut punch
on Monday or Tuesday for your fitting date.
Why, if extras are told to bring their own Bears gear, why are they being fitted for things?
Well, it says you might if you send a headshot or a picture of you in the gear, you might not need to be fitted.
I don't have a headshot.
We'll just take a picture of yourself in the gear. You might not need to be fitted, and then you can just show up. They'll tell you when to show up for the filming date.
What, are they filming at the stadium?
It doesn't say.
How many people are they asking for?
It doesn't say. I think they don't want.
They don't want people. Where do I have to go to do this?
They'll tell. They don't want people. They probably don't want a bunch of people showing up. They probably just tell you.
Well, I'm not going to show up unless I know.
All males, females, age 18 and up.
18 and up. Okay.
18 and up. 18 and up. It's a decent rate too. Just saying.
What's the rate?
It's like $140.
It's the
the
SAG after standard.
It's the SAG minimum, man.
They're getting okay. All right.
Expect a 12-hour day.
Have you ever gone to to try and be an extra on a film?
I've never gone to a casting call. Casting call.
Raj, our guy.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah, I've never done one of those either.
Is he our guy now?
Yeah, well, yeah. By name of the show, yes, he is. I have never. Well, I've done it. It sucks.
You have?
Yeah, I've gone. There was an Angelina Jolie film that was filmed in Chicago like 15, 20 years ago, and we went to be extras.
Get on that call.
Well, she wasn't there, and it sucked. You just sit around a warehouse waiting. It sucks.
Okay.
I wouldn't do this. Just sit around just to say that you're in some Hallmark movie. It's not even a real movie.
Some people. Okay, I know people
if it's not getting a theater release, I don't want to be in it.
I know people that have done this, that have tried to do this for The Bear. I know that films
TV
here
show
that have
on FX.
that films here in Chicago. People that have tried to do this for all of the NBC Chicago Fire Med.
Well, it's Chicago
PD,
Wednesday night.
Yeah, Chicago Wednesday night. all that
Police,
stuff that
fire,
films here. Yeah, whatever.
Mall cops, the whole thing.
Chicago vet.
Dog walkers. They got the whole lineup on NBC on a Wednesday night.
It's all just 5-minute shows of all the different jobs you could have in Chicago.
Yes. Uber driver. Restaurant worker.
Where's our show?
Chicago
idiots.
Just sitting in a room, staring at a webcam.
Chicago radio guys.
Yeah, Chicago radio guys. There's Bleck and Abdalla.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, I mean.
I think you should go. I think you should go.
Let me ask you this, and you can text the show at 310-840-4910. If there was a movie that you would be an extra in, what would that movie be?
Okay. Does it have to be a movie, or can I pick a show?
I'll pick a movie. Why don't you pick a show?
Because I have an answer for a show. I don't know if I have an answer for a movie.
Support the theaters.
We just named a bunch of shows.
Tom Cruise wants you to support movies.
We just named but movies are shows. All these movie stars are doing shows now.
Raj, do you have an answer for that?
Gosh, I would be in just about any of the franchises I enjoy watching. So if I could be in a Star Wars movie or something like that would be pretty cool.
That would be. What character would you be in Star Wars?
You know what I'd want to be? I'd want to be like an old Jedi. Like, could they like make me look older? Because I always find it funny, you know, like they're like these tough guys, and you see like Alec Guinness, and it's like this guy looks like 80 years old. That's what I want to be. Like, plus you get to wear the comfortable robes in costume. So yeah, I would do that.
You know what I want to be? I want to be you know how like when Spielberg directs things, how like there's always like a secondary story before like something big happens.
Yeah.
You know, like there's always the Alien movie, and like there's a dad like giving a kid like an ice cream cone, and then like something big crushes something next to them.
The ice cream falls off the cone, and then it's like, why is the earth vibrating?
That's what I want to be. Like I want to be that in like one of those like disaster movies.
I don't think that's necessarily an actor. I think that's an extra.
That's what I mean.
You're a paid actor in that scenario.
Oh, you are? Well, I mean, I don't have any lines or anything. I'm just
but you're face on camera. You're getting big time there. Right. I'll tell you guys, the movie I would love to be an extra in would have been in the Dark Knight Rises in the stadium in the Steelers Stadium when Bane blows up the field.
Okay,
that would have been cool to be there that day when they filmed that, to be in the football stadium for that. That would have been cool.
Yeah, the TV show is Mad Men. If you wanted to,
I love Mad Men.
Yeah.
I'll cancel the rest of the show. I'll just talk Mad Men for the next 40 minutes.
I want to change my answer. I want to be a stormtrooper because they've had some pretty famous people be stormtrooper.
That's a good
one. Oh, yeah, you just don't know, right? Because they're just under the helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like Daniel Craig was one. I think Prince Harry might have even been one in one of the movies. Like, that'd be kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Raj, that's a good point. That's a really good one. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You can text the show, 310-840-4910. What movie would you want to be an extra in? Is Bryce Young a top 100 player in the NFL? We'll talk about that coming up next. International soccer is taking over the U.S., and only DraftKings has you fully covered.
The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states with all the matches you love all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code BNA26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days.
That's code BNA26 for Bleck and Abdalla. 26 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involve risk of loss. Sportsbook's bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks, expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
The NFL has decided Brendan Sorsby will not be entering the league this season. The quarterback will now have to focus on next year's draft in a potentially loaded class, including Arch Manning and Dante Moore. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app as we hang out with you here on Westwood One Sports, counting down the days of the summer until the start of the NFL season. We love talking football. And before we know it, we will be at kickoff for the opener of the NFL season. Each day throughout the summer, we count down those days in a segment we call the Summer of Football.
I proclaim this the Summer of
Football!
What the hell's going on out here? We're going to be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party. Only Brett Favre could do that. I don't care what you say.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
We need a National Guard. We need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots.
The Summer of Football with Bleck and Abdalla.
I throw, you catch. It's not that hard, okay?
Westwood One, your home for the NFL as we count down the days to the start of the NFL season. Today, day 76.
Matriculating our way through the summer.
Seahawks and Patriots kick off the NFL season 76 days away. And Abdalla, today here on the Summer of Football, let's take a look. The NFL Network has their NFL Top 100 that they showcase each and every year. And so this summer, it's players who have voted on themselves. They reveal who the top 100 players in the NFL are. And this year, the NFL Network and ESPN, they're releasing these on social media throughout the summer as we count down the top 100 players in the NFL. So yesterday, we got the first 5. So 100 through 95. These are the top 100 players in the NFL. 100 is Cam Jordan, defensive end for the Saints. Number 99, Quentin Nelson, guard for the Colts. 98, Bryce Young, quarterback, Panthers. 97, Ernest Jones, linebacker for the Seahawks. 96, Travis Etienne, running back for the Saints. And then Demario Davis, our buddy from the Super Bowl, linebacker for the Jets, is number 95. So shout out to Demario Davis, number 95 on the list. How about that? Bryce Young cracks the top 100.
Okay. All right. I could see it. I could see him being in the 90s. Like, it's tough to boil it down to 100 and go and put them all in by position too. You know, to throw all the defensive players in with the wide receivers and the running backs and the quarterbacks and compile a list. And I know this is players voting for other players. And it's tough because is Bryce Young better than Demario Davis? Is he better than Quentin Nelson? Like, I don't know. Would you rather have Quentin Nelson or Bryce Young? Like, who's more valuable to their team? Like, obviously, a quarterback's the most valuable position on the field. He's the most important position on the field. But is Quentin Nelson better at his job than Bryce Young is better at his job?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Hands down.
Then there's your answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, it's a vanity project. It's also that the players are the ones voting.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say, blame the offensive tackles around the league or the offensive linemen around the league for not voting their players higher or however it kind of falls. Because like throughout the summer, we will get lists of best players in the NFL, best quarterbacks, and it all goes back to the star wide receivers, the quarterbacks. Occasionally you get a defensive player in there, but for the most part, those players who are the marquee players get more shine than some of the guys who are the grinders of the league.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why you're seeing some of these guys on this list. I'll be interested to see, where some of these other, like it's hard to put offensive linemen. Like we don't know where to put the offensive linemen in these spots. You know what I mean?
Like I honestly, the way I look at it is like I know how to do it for one guy, Trent Williams. Right? Like every football analyst says that he's the best tackle in football. Mm-hmm. And then when you watch him, you're like, oh, yeah, he's different than everyone else. So, like, I get it. Like, Trent Williams should be a top 10 player.
Yeah.
Behind Trent Williams, I think it's very difficult for, like, the average football fan to then come up with, like, their list of the 30 best tackles in the NFL and then to rank them.
And then compare it to, like, the 30 best defensive tackles.
Yeah, exactly.
And like slot those in together with the 5 best wide receivers and like where you're mixing those into. So like these lists are to do this, to get us talking about them, obviously.
Well,
but
it is
also
fun.
like, I don't know, is Bryce Young a top 100 player in the NFL? Like, I don't know. The quarterback's the most important position on the field.
And
so maybe he is.
This is something that we can't talk about at this moment, but I'm always curious into seeing is we don't have the full list, right? They've only released 100 through 95.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll trickle this out as the summer goes. This is going to, each couple days you're going to get 5 more and just little drip drops of here we go. Here's the list, right? I like looking at it and saying, okay, if Bryce Young's 98, how many quarterbacks are ahead of him on the list? And then you can judge based on how the players around the league view the other quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like that to me is worthwhile for something like this.
I mean,
if Bryce Young is the 9th quarterback on the list,
that's fair.
Then that's going to be very surprising.
That's fair.
But if there's 17 other quarterbacks on the list, which I'm guessing there will be,
I think there will be.
Then it's like, all right, well, yeah, Bryce Young is the 98th best player in the league. Okay. But he's also the 17th quarterback.
I think that players are smart enough to know the importance of the quarterback position.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I think also you're going to get bias, right? So, like,
of course.
You'll get players who are just voting for other players on their team, and maybe they're friends. Like, that is certainly something that takes place as well. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. So there you go. Summer of football here on Bleck and Abdalla. We are 76 days away.
Wow.
From the start of the NFL season.
Almost we're a quarter by tomorrow. We're a quarter of the way through the list, through the countdown.
It's one of those things where, like, right now we're in the heart of the summer, right? Like these are the good times of the summer because, like, the sun is up until like 9 o'clock at night in some places of the country. Like it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Then before you know it, training camp will be here. And school will be back in session, and boom, summer will be over.
Yeah, I know. It's sad that the summer's over, but also it's great that football will be back.
All right, so this is new news from ESPN. Jesse Rogers, our good friend from Chicago, is reporting this. He writes on social media, breaking. In its next CBA, Major League Baseball is proposing a max contract length of 5 years for free agent players switching teams, 6 years to retain their own players, no deferred contracts, qualifying offers would be gone in the next CBA. Also, 5 years to free agency for players 30 or older. So that's from Jesse Rogers on ESPN. Breaking news in Major League Baseball for the next CBA, which is going to be a story that we will be following for the next year because what will likely happen next spring is that when opening day rolls around, I'm guessing no teams will actually be participating in opening day because we will not be having baseball due to a lockout.
So a max contract of 5 years for a free agent for switching teams.
Okay.
6 years if you want to stay with your team. And no deferred contract, which is what the Dodgers are the only way the Dodgers exist.
So other owners are pissed that the Dodgers have deferred so many years of contract money into the future.
So this is the owners fighting with the owners right now. And then they got together, obviously, because the league is proposing this.
Yes.
So they've figured this out. But good luck with this.
Well, and I'm guessing, the players are going to push back on the maximum contract length.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that a player can only sign if they're with their own team a 6-year deal into the future. Baseball teams have signed, Bryce Harper signed a long-term deal. We've seen mega deals be brought to the table in baseball for many years. You know what that kind of feels like? Doesn't that kind of feel like the rules that the NBA has put in place the last couple of years with their CBA to incentivize players to stay with their current team that drafts them?
I mean,
and that's what, like, the Derrick Rose rule was originally created for that, and then the NBA has kind of shifted that more into a favorable situation where you can only sign the Supermax with your team that drafted you.
It does.
That's what that feels like. you can get the additional year, which means you can get the additional amount of money compared to leaving in free agency. The conversation in baseball, if this were to take place, will always be if you leave in free agency, you're leaving money on the table.
It does, but I mean,
Isn't that essentially what the NBA has created?
It's 1 year. I mean,
no, I know it's 1 year, but that is a major difference to why we've seen a lot of teams kind of stabilize as far as movement goes in the NBA, because those players sign those max deals with the teams that draft them.
This isn't happening.
No, I know it's not happening. I know we'll go back and forth throughout the next 8 months.
They're not. I still believe we're not getting this. We're not even playing baseball next year.
No. So that's the latest in Major League Baseball. That is the proposal on the table at the moment for the CBA.
You remember when you said they were going to play baseball next year?
No, they'll get it done. They'll play some baseball.
Just remember, guys.
They'll play some baseball.
Never wrong.
They'll play
just early.
That's Abdalla's theme. He's never wrong. He's just early. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. There is a major event that will take place next week. I want to talk about it. We'll get to that in just a second. Bleck Abdalla is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. There's a major event next week. Major event.
Major event.
Taking place. And it sounds like all of the stars are starting to align.
All the stars.
With this major event.
Okay.
I want to get Abdalla's opinion on whether or not he's interested in paying attention to said event.
Okay.
Coming up next.
All right.
The Washington Wizards made BYU's A.J. Debonza the #1 pick in the NBA draft. Will Debonza be the generational talent to bring a championship to the nation's capital for the first time in nearly 50 years? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Make sure you check out the podcast of Bleck and Abdalla on Apple and on Spotify, and also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bleck and Abdalla Show, hanging out with you from noon to 3 Eastern each and every day. Thank you to Raj and Roy for producing today's show. Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show is coming up in 12 minutes right here on Westwood One Sports. Next week, there is a date where a big event will take place in New York City, Abdalla. And I think I want to get your opinion on whether or not you're interested in said big event. According to the New York Times, a permit has been filed for New York City to close streets around Madison Square Garden from July 2nd to about midday on July 4th for an event that would take place on the 3rd, which the New York Times is pointing to as the rumored date that Taylor Swift will marry Travis Kelce at Madison Square Garden. Big event next week. Sir, are you interested in the Taylor Swift wedding to Travis Kelce at Madison Square Garden to shut down the streets? People are just going crazy. How about this, Swifties? She's getting married.
I cannot confirm nor deny that I am interested in this in this wedding.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm off next week.
Sure.
I cannot say why.
Oh.
I cannot confirm nor deny that I'm interested in the nuptials.
Did you sign an NDA?
Of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I cannot confirm nor deny that members of the Chiefs have booked hotel rooms around Madison Square Garden and the New York area.
Interesting.
I cannot confirm nor deny that other arrangements have been made for a 100-person event at Madison Square Garden on the 2nd.
Only 100 people?
And then 1,000-person events on the 3rd.
All right. How do you feel to get the invite to the wedding, but not the invite to the rehearsal dinner?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
100 people for a rehearsal dinner is quite a bit, right?
How I feel about getting or not getting said invite.
You and I are both married, so we've gone through this charade before.
I cannot confirm nor deny having gone through this charade before.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I was there. I saw it.
You were there.
With my eyes.
Yeah, I was at yours too. Yeah.
I saw it, yes.
Yeah.
Boy, I wish I cared about something in life the way Swifties care about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I know, right?
It's insane to me.
I
Like,
can't,
I'm not trying to throw shade on those people, but like she's just a musical artist. Like, I get all of us. Like, we're all on the same page. You're listening to Bleck Abdalla. You're listening to Westwood One Sports. I get it. We're sports fans.
I love you.
We are rooting for something, for a team and players to accomplish goals.
Mm-hmm.
She's just making cat videos
and music.
Well, yeah, she's making her music, but like, what do you, like the Grammys? You're rooting for Grammys? Like, what? I don't like. She's great.
Her.
No, Raj, I know people love her. I get it, and I'm not trying to hate on her.
And you know what I'm saying?
Like,
sounds
who
like
cares that she's getting married?
It sounds like you're hating on her.
The same Swifties that you just were like, I don't want to throw shade at, would throw shade at you for giggling because Michael Jordan walked in the room, and they would not
wouldn't
understand.
giggle if Jordan walked in.
They would not understand.
That's
oh,
offensive.
Really? Oh, really?
I wouldn't giggle.
What would you do?
No giggle. You think I'm gonna giggle if Michael Jordan walks in? No, we play cool. Firm handshake.
Calm and collected.
Firm
I could just
handshake.
imagine them being like, all he does
golf with
is
him because I don't have that kind of money.
Ball. Yeah, I can just hear the Swifties. All he does is bounce a ball. You just hear it.
Yeah, but that's on them for being uncultured, not understanding sport.
I mean, okay, listen. I respect everything that Taylor Swift does. She is a great writer. She is an insane performer. The fact that she performed that entire Eras tour, putting on a 3+ hour performance the way she did, I respect the hell out of it. But to be obsessed about it the way that the Swifties are,
like, they're more super fan for Taylor Swift than we are for our favorite teams.
Oh, 1,000%.
That is what I'm pointing at, Raj.
I mean, imagine wearing the same thing that your favorite person wears when they go out and do their job.
It's weird.
Says the guy who owns a Peanut Tillman jersey.
When do I wear it?
I mean,
when was the last time you saw me wearing a football jersey?
I'm just saying.
Of course
I just want to see him wear it.
I'm just
and
saying
then
that
do
we
the
are
peanut
just
punch.
as obsessed with sports, and people are just as obsessed with sports as the Swifties are obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Remove sports from the conversation.
Okay.
There is nothing in my life that I am obsessed with the way that Swifties are obsessed with Taylor Swift. Like, I can't even think of a celebrity, a musical act, an actor that I am that obsessed with. That's what, like, sports, fine. If you want to say, hey, we're obsessed with sports, so let them be. But is there any actor, musician, anything close to that? Comedian? What are you, a big Bill Burr guy? Running around dressed like Bill Burr? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess I'm shaving my head tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. I get it. And look, there are bands that I've seen, like, almost like easily upwards of like close to 50 times. Easily. But like, I'm not like obsessed with their every move.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is, people react to her the way that people around the world react to Messi.
But I'll let you know how it is.
Okay, well,
I can't confirm nor deny if I'll let you know how it is.
Sir. Next week in New York City, apparently that's when it's going to take place, and Abdalla will report back a week later.
Nope.
Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show is coming up next, right here on Westwood One Sports.
This is Westwood One Sports.